is Miss Ozarks Living, and I'm so glad that you joined me today in what is now my growing room, I guess, for lack of a better definition or explanation. I apologize for the lighting, but I'm so excited. I just got my new lights for my growing station set up, and the rest of the room is a bit of a nightmare, so I really didn't want to share all of that with you guys today. So I hope that you are ready for the next episode of Seeds Starting Madness for spring of 2022. Because I've got a lot of things that I want to cover with you guys, which means that we'll probably be here for a minute. Make sure you grab yourself a big old flaming hot cup of joe or whatever your favorite beverage is. And let's get this party started. All right, first and foremost, I was supposed to do a mail call video and I missed it because I had so many other things going on that I just didn't stop what I was doing. So I want to let you guys know, the last time that we talked about seeds, seriously about seeds, I realized that I really needed to order seeds and that I hadn't done an accurate inventory. There were some things that I was completely out of or only had like one little packet of. So I was waited patiently for the mail, orders to come in, and I received several different shipments of seeds. The first shipment of seeds was from M.I. Gardner. I got a very large assortment, and you will recognize most of the varieties of tomatoes that we talk about. Most of those are from M.I. Gardner. But I also ordered some seeds from, and I want to make sure that I get this information correct. Oh my gosh, Becky, we're going to have to change this around because I can't handle it. That's better. Okay, all my stuff is still within reaching distance, but at least now we're not losing the light every 5 seconds. Okay, so we got a big O M.I. Gardner order for seeds. And then on addition to that, because of the survival gardener guy, whose name I can't think of right now, I actually got some legume inoculant for your cover crops, and then for any other legumes that you are going to be planting, because he says that we need those, and I never knew that. I never used inoculant for that before. I also ordered a few seeds off from Cisco. This company, they actually, I found them on Etsy, and some of the harder to find seed varieties that have sold out in other locations, I was able to get through them. Also, I reached out to Country Creek Acres on a recommendation from a fellow homesteader for arugula bean sprouts. So I got a 4-ounce pack, which is quite a few of arugula seeds. And after I get my regular seed starts rolling, I think I'm going to experiment a little bit with doing a few microgreens just for us. And I wanted to make sure that I had quite a bit of one of our favorite types on hand so that we could do that. Next, I got, so it's spelled P-A-S-E, I guess it's Pass Seeds. They're out of New York, and they sent me a couple of varieties that I was having a hard time finding with another location. In addition to those things, I also received a big order of, let me get my container here. These are Mary's heirloom seeds. So as you can see, these are all new. These are ones that are from M.I. Gardner, and these are all new. These are ones that were from Mary's Heirlooms, which I want to thank Mary's Heirlooms for sending me a complimentary sticker. It was the first sticker that I'm putting on my new seed sorting box. So here's my Cisco, spelled S-I-S-C-O, seeds, as well as my Mary's, and then my M.I. Gardner. Now, what is in this container is things that we either haven't decided if we're going to use, or we needed backups. or they're to be planted later as a direct sow or in a separate planting. So I'm going to break the rules and set them underneath this grow light for just a minute, even though you're really not supposed to do that. I'm going to blast that for a second because it'll adjust itself. See, told you. Other things that came in milk haul, super exciting. We received our first soil blocker and we did our first soil blocks, which I will share that with you in a tour video probably next week because those seedlings should be up. If it comes sooner, I will make a video sooner. Just make sure you check the other social media platforms and you like and subscribe and share. So that you can see, because we do updates on all the different platforms, not just here, especially the shorter ones. But yes, we got our first seed blocker, and I don't remember how many varieties. I think I did 5 or 6 different varieties of things that if they don't turn out for the first time, since it's my first time using it, I'll have the opportunity to resow those again, and it won't be any problem for making sure that we still have the inventory that we need for this year. Okay, so in addition to that, I was going to do a big grand reveal mail call video like I did last year about this time. And then I thought, you know what? I don't have to. The videos speak for themselves whenever I share with you what we're doing with our seed starting station. It looks like I have an empty seed starting station. My seed starting station was actually full of all the available shelves that I had with proper lighting as of today. Today, I put in doubled the amount of lights that I have available, doubled the amount of shelves that I have available, so that I can up pot in a more timely fashion and be able to keep my seedlings inside and safe and still continuing to thrive and grow as we're waiting for the weather to, like, you know, figure out what it's going to do. But one of the shipments that we received and that I'm particularly excited about is this one. This is a product that you can now purchase through Bootstrap Farmer. These are the perfect size. They hold about the same amount of soil as one of your red solo cups, but you see they're much more heavy duty and better for reuse than some of the other alternatives. And so basically the goal is to get each one of these with something that we're going to sell to other people. Actually had a couple people already reach out to me this week asking if I would be doing seed sales again this week, or this year rather, and we absolutely here on the homestead will be doing seed sales of whatever we have that puts on and performs well, so that you also can have heirloom, organically raised, healthy seedlings to start your gardens too, because we want to do everything that we can to support the local economy for this type of gardening and homesteading, not just the traditional stuff. So I have a whole big box of these. I have used quite a few of them and just put anywhere from 2 to 5 seeds in them for different varieties that I'm planting. Say, for example, if I'm doing like 6 kinds of tomatoes, instead of doing a row, 6 rows of tomatoes, which takes up a lot more space, it's nice to be able to use these, which are really heavy duty and take the up potting process. Well, so we have those. We have our soil blocker, which I've already shared with you guys. And today is the day that our very first seedling sprouted for this year. And I went back and checked for last year because of all the things that we had going on in our personal lives and our family. This day last year, I was actually wearing this exact same sweatshirt at my girlfriend Rachel's place, putting in her winter garden on this day last year. But I had not started any of my own seedlings inside or outside at that point. And so we made getting her garden in priority, and we're a little bit late between that and bad weather and whatever, getting that done last year. So we're super excited that we've already got, I think, 7 of our smaller beds cleaned up and top dressed, so that as soon as these winter and cold hardy starts that we've started that are starting to come up as of today, so that we can transfer those out into the garden. Once we're able to do that, then we'll be able to then move into our additional warm weather crops that are not our peppers and our tomatoes. Your peppers and your tomatoes are going to take longer because they really slow with the growth process to start. Once they get their second set of true leaves, then it's just gangbusters if you get them in the ground after that. But once your tomato plants and your pepper plants are about 3 or 4 inches tall, you want to get them set out into the ground as soon as you can, and you don't want to keep them in pots any longer than you have to. Part of the difficulty that we faced last year, again, erratic weather, everything else, was we were late getting our starts into the ground. When we did get our starts into the ground, they had been in the pots for a little bit too long, because we did our seed cells and we didn't plant anything until after we finished seed cells. I will not make that mistake again this year. This year, seed cells or no seed cells, we're going to go ahead and get all of our crops into the ground, make sure that we have everything that we need for the homestead first, and then whatever is surplus above and beyond that, then we'll look at selling that to other folks so that they can get their garden started. There's several different farmers markets that aren't terribly far from here, but more importantly, we live on a major highway right off of it, and if people are interested in having heirloom products, then it's not far for them to have to commute to come out and to get them right off the farm. So we're super excited about that. Let's see, what else did I want to show you guys from Milk Haul? We received a couple small gifts, nothing major or terribly expensive or anything like that. It's mostly just notes and, you know, people following through and being kind and remembering anniversaries and birthdays and death dates and that kind of thing. So we have refleshed out our seed collections. So we should have everything that we need for sowing seeds for this season and the upcoming seasons. We shouldn't be completely out coming into next year. We should have a little bit of all of our seeds. And we obviously are continuously working on our seed preservation techniques and skill sets. So that all being said, I was going to cheat and I was going to show you guys my list of everything that I have started in seeds, but I think I'm going to wait on that until I'm completely like done with the first and second round of seed starting. And then we can do kind of like a reveal on that, because this is already running long and I want to go over the types of tomatoes that we are definitely planting. I've shared some of it on our other channels, but I want you guys to be able to be aware of which ones we're planting and where you can find them. Just in case you haven't ordered your seeds yet, it's not too late. You can still get on any one of these websites and order most of their product. Now, some of it's going to be sold out, but that's okay. It's usually more just the specialty items. And if you even think that you might want to grow something this year or next year, I would encourage you right now to stop this video, pause it, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button first, but then pause it, go order your seeds, and then come back. We'll still be here waiting, okay? All right, well, on that note, while you're ordering your seeds, I'm gonna have me a sip. Oh. You know, wash tubs, like the metal wash tubs that people used to like wash their babies in and whatever, you know, yay big metal. I had one of those half full of seeds from last year at the end, like right before the last frost. We went and harvested all of the flower heads off of everything that we had growing in the garden. I have half of one of those wash tubs full of assorted summer flowers that I use for companion planting. So that means a lot of zinnias, marigolds, mostly those two, but also some calendula, some echinacea, some stuff like that. But just an assortment of summer flowers. I have a half of a wash tub full of seeds after I have like headed each one of them. So I'm thinking about, you guys tell me what you think. Should I do like a little, like, should I get me some little packets and sell them like on our page? Or should I just take them with me, have them available for folks whenever they come for seed sale? Should I take them to the farmer's market? Should I start a bunch of them once I get my other seedlings done and just sell like little starts of, you know, assorted summer flowers? I don't know. You guys tell me what you think, because I have so many seeds. I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands. The previous year, we harvested all of those and then I canned them. Not the zinnias, obviously, but the calendula and the marigold, because those are actually therapeutic and really healthy, and you can put them into almost like a tincture that you can use over the cold and flu season to support immune health and whatnot. So you guys tell me what you think. What should I do with this massive amount of seeds that I have that are for nothing but pollinators and beautiful flowers? Tell me your ideas. Okay, so we've gone over most of our bullet points, but now here is the grand finale. Which tomatoes are we growing on the Cluck G Cells homestead this year? Which seeds have I started or am I starting today? So, drum roll, please. Okay. So, a couple of real side notes. I told you that I have the Bootstrap Farmer, I forget what, Harvest Collection? Is that what you call it, Jill? I forget. I can't remember right now. Anyway, I have these that I will eventually end up putting my individual plants that I'm going to be selling in these. I started a bunch in there too just because I was dying to use them. I couldn't help it. However, when I say start a seed in one of these containers and I put 2 to 5, 6 seeds in here to see if they're going to germinate and what my germ rate's going to be, then once they get up yay big, they need to go into their own individual cells. At that point, the Bootstrap Farmer 6-cell propagation trays that allow for the root trimming, which we can get into that more on another video if you would like. But basically what it does is, this is a tool that's for the modern grower. That's what it's even like embezzled on the side of it. And it's like super, super heavy duty, guys. Like you can use this for like your whole lifetime. They clean up really well. Like this was filthy. And I just ran it through some, you know, with some Dawn in the sink and a brush. And I mean, it looks like new. But these are what I transplant the little babies into up until they're about 3 or 4 inches tall. Now, at that point, if I don't have a place to put them in the ground or I'm going to be selling them, then I'm going to take each one of these individuals and it's going to go into one of these. Now, if you look at them comparatively speaking on the size and the volume, if something has been in here for a couple of weeks and it is to the point that the roots are all growing around, then at that point it's time, it needs more soil, right? And if I'm not ready to put it into the ground yet, most people don't like to put their stuff in the ground when it's that small, then you're going to up-pot it into here. Oops, into here. And it gives you twice as much growing space for those roots so that you can buy yourself another couple of weeks before these have to be in the ground. But if it takes, say, a week to 2 weeks to germinate, and then you have 2 weeks in here, right? So that's up to 4 weeks. And then you have up to 2 weeks in here. That's up to 6 weeks. The rule of thumb is 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date is when you should start your things, which is why even though I die to start my seeds earlier, why I did not start any seeds sooner. So, bunch of little seeds in here, see what's going to germinate. Some of my seeds are really old. I found a package of tomato seeds from 1981. So tomato seeds that are as old as me. Maybe they'll germinate, maybe they won't. If they do, they'll go in here once they're a couple weeks old. So in about a month, I'm going to be up on like crazy. Then a couple of weeks after that, when we have 2 sets of true leaves, we're going to go into, by the time, then we're going to go into these, and we have up to 2 more weeks. At that point, all these bad boys need to be planted in the ground or sold to someone else who's also going to put them into the ground, because we don't want all of our hard work and effort and resources and our stewardship to not be for the betterment, right? Otherwise, what's the point? All right, so these are both available through Bootstrap Farmer. Now, if this is something that you do on a regular basis, you do not have to be a market gardener. You do not have to be someone that goes to the farmers markets all the time. You can just be someone who takes their home gardening seriously, and you don't want to have to buy new supplies every year. These are great resources that are available to you. I personally spaced these out. I bought these last year on their plan where you can pay it out over 4 installments or whatever, so it's not as stiff. And then these I purchased this year. I don't remember if I did payments on these or not, but either way, I spaced them out as part of my budget, and I'm very glad that I purchased them. As I'm reusing materials, I'm finding that going ahead and spending the extra little bit of money to get the heavy duty of these supplies, which are very hard to come by anyway, unless you order them, is definitely the way to go. The next thing that I will be investing in, I have heavy duty 72 cell trays that were a gift to me from another homesteader because they're not using them anymore. And I did buy a 10-pack of 10-20 trays, but I did not spend the extra money and get them from Bootstrap Farmer because the ones that I wanted were out of inventory. It was going to be really pricey, and so I just got the basic ones. Well, when you shuffle these trays from shelf to shelf to shelf, up potting, in and out, so that you can get them acclimated to, being outside, that's a lot of wear and tear. So if you are going to do any volume of seed starting, you're not just doing a tray or two, then I would highly recommend that you invest the time, the energy, and the resources to get really heavy duty, high quality, reusable products that you can use. Now, obviously, I'm not going to send this 6-pack home with somebody. These, on the other hand, I expect that these are going to be a cost of doing business. So whenever I am selling seed starts in these, there's a reason for that. I want them to look as professional as possible. And some of my clients will actually save these and give them back to me later once I get everything planted. They don't have to, but I appreciate it when they do. But yeah, fantastic. I'm told that Jill and Nathan have something else up their sleeve, and they are going to be doing another specialty order between now and May or June because of some conference that they're participating in. So, enough of that. Let's talk about tomatoes. Okay. So, already I have planted. I went in alphabetical order when I was making my list, and I started the bottom of the list, so they're kind of out of order. First things first, we have a good old-fashioned, I do not grow very many hybrids, guys, but when it comes to tomatoes in Arkansas, if the weather's really crappy, humidity is really high, it stays really hot, then you definitely want to make sure that you have a few hybrids in your garden, even if you are predominantly an heirloom girl like I am. So I've got big boy hybrids. I also had some better boy hybrids that I started. And then I made sure, year before last, the tomato that we had that was the most successful and that did better than any of the other ones, believe it or not, was a yellow pear tomato. I got those from Mary's. The one that I got last time I actually got from Atwood's. I know it wasn't an heirloom variety. It was just a regular old pear tomato that I picked up off the clearance rack because it got cold. So I actually planted a few from M.I. Gardner and a few from Mary's just to see how they perform and to see if both of them come alive for me. And then one of my free seeds that I got from Baker Creek is the white Thomasol. I've never grown this tomato. It seemed really interesting to me. It's got a longer period before it's mature and requires higher temperatures. So I'm not sure if it's going to do well here, but we figure we give it a try. All right, so the tomatoes that I have not yet planted today, but that are on my to-do list are Aunt Ruby's green tomato from Mary's, Black Seaman tomato from M.I. Gardner, the big rainbow tomato. If you guys have not heard of or seen this one, look into it. This tomato is supposed to get up to 2 pounds. I mean, this is, and it's beautiful. It's striped, it's variegated, it's just gorgeous. All right, tried and true. Also, one of the ones that always does best on our farm is the Cherokee purple tomato. It's one of the first tomatoes I ever got my mom to try that wasn't just your regular like orange or red tomato. And she fell head over heels in love at the first bite. All right, so I'm not going to try to pronounce the whole thing because it's Italian and I don't know how to pronounce it, but I call it the Genovese. And this too is, it's an Italian slicing tomato. And it also has a unique shape, and it is pretty, and it's got like all the little root. Anyway, looking forward to that one. We have the chocolate stripes. This one is actually almost looks like a cross between like the other two. Then, because every heirloom gardener who loves tomatoes has to grow this tomato, Dr. Witchy's yellow. This is a tomato that regularly gets up to 1 pound, and it is tangerine orange colored and is way lower in acid than a lot of your other tomatoes. So last year ours didn't do anything. I'm hoping this year is better. All right, the good old German Johnson. Check this bad boy out. These are also fruits that get huge, and I have to tell you, anything that says it's supposed to have a note of citrus and melon, but it's a tomato, sign me up. I'm all about it. The Gobstopper. Check this. Can you guys see this one? Oh my gosh, look at this. Is that not the cutest thing that you've ever seen? This is supposed to be a prolific producer. So, hang on. There we go. Can't wait to see how that one does. This one is also a smaller tomato variety. We ordered specifically so we could get some of these. This is the Golden Nugget. We've got the Green Zebra, which I heard on a video that I was listening to about gene splicing and manipulation on species of plants. I heard a show that was saying that this isn't technically an heirloom because it's not old enough, but I mean, we're gonna grow it anyway. It was first released in 1996, so I think technically it's just not old enough yet. Kellogg's Breakfast. Guys, this is an absolutely beautiful piece of fruit. It comes out of West Virginia, and it's famous for it's a bright orange fruit that bursts with sweetness. Everybody that I know that is a tomato lover loves this tomato. All right, so this one, I don't know about this. I didn't actually order this. This was a freebie from Mary's, and it's called Marglobe tomato. I don't know anything about it other than that. We're going to have to do some research, see how it does. We've got the Mexican Midget, which is actually more like a currant variety of tomato. This one here, it's a dwarf producer, and it's great for containers and in small spaces. So we may end up putting that one in the pot. Good old-fashioned Mr. Stripies. You gotta love this guy. These are beautiful fruits. They are also indeterminate, and they tend to fall somewhere. They're not a huge tomato, but they're not a small tomato either. And they're supposed to be mature in a shorter period of time, so we're looking forward to that. Now we've got the orange Old German. We showed you the pink a minute ago. Hang on. We showed you the pink a minute ago. This is the orange. Now, this one does not usually do really great here, I guess because it likes colder climates, and well, Arkansas is not cold. It's the South. But this one is Paul Robeson. Also, we did quite a few, probably double of what we did of the other species of just your good old-fashioned Roman tomatoes. I knew where I ordered those from last year, but I didn't write it on the note card, and I can't remember. All right, so here's another current style tomato. This is going to be almost like cherries off a tree size. Hang on, there we go. This one right here, these are tiny bite size. They're almost the size of grapes, and they grow in large clusters, and they're supposed to be low in seed. So I'm thinking these would be great for the dehydrator, that kind of thing, or pickling whole, maybe even. I don't know, lots of different opportunities. Here's the Thessalonica tomato. I have not grown this one before. I've looked at it many times, but I'm looking forward to trying it. Speaking of, we got the Tiffin Mennonite, which again, this one is also, guys, this is also a pink, huge, giant, just delicious tomato. It goes back to the 1800s. I mean, anything that's been around for that long, I want to check it out, right? Like, yeah, looks good. All right, good old-fashioned Trip L crop. Listen, the first time I ever saw this, I was a child. So I've been familiar with this particular brand of tomato for like 30 years. And sometimes you can find it, sometimes you can't. And I'm super excited to be able to put that in the ground in the garden today. We got some good old-fashioned tomatoes. Again, whenever we were talking to you guys about seeds of four, we mentioned the fact that we didn't have any small tomatoes, like at all, zero zilch. And so we stocked up. We hope to have a whole rainbow. This tomato, I'm so excited about this tomato. Okay, so this one right here, I'm gonna read to you guys. So this one right here is the Valencia tomato. It's a medium-sized slicer, and it weighs in between 8 and 10 ounces. Okay, it has a very low acid content and is one of the sweetest slicing tomatoes out there. And it received its name because of its bright yellow orange hue, and the flesh gives off. It's supposed to be extremely productive and resistant to many early season diseases. So we're hoping to have great success and eat so many of these we get sick of them. All right. Now, I'm going to mispronounce this one. It's Wapsipinicon peach, which I looked that up. That's actually a location. It's named after a place. But this one right here is, here we go. Let's get that to focus. One of the best tasting yellow tomatoes in the world. It's a 2-bite variety, and so it's not a pear, but it's a little bit bigger than that. It's supposed to be easily to grow and has slightly fuzzy yellow skin. Magic! All right, so that is all of the tomato varieties that we are planning on putting into the ground this year. We have others. We have gone through, like we're playing cards or game or goldfish or something like that, and gone through our tomatoes 2 or 3 times to narrow it down to just 30 varieties that we're going to be planting this year. Last year we did 50. Some of them were raging hits, some of them not so much. Now, if after we get these tomatoes planted, we still have room on this newly modified seed starting station, which I think we will, then I would like to plant some bachelor's buttons, cardinal basil. This one is from Botanical Interest. I love these guys. Some lemon basil. Gotta do the spicy saber. The mammoth. Never grown it before. I've bought it once or twice, but for some reason it's never made it into the ground. Good old-fashioned holy basil. Now, this is what I did last year, and my clients weren't happy with a specific brand, so I made sure that I got the Italian Genovese version, which is the more traditional kind that people are used to seeing of basil. In addition to those, I also bought this special kind of broccoli, which is supposed to be better for our climate zone. And you're supposed to be able to direct sow it even later in the year. So we'll give that a try. Thai basil. We got a little bit of cosmos that are purple. Last year I had so many beautiful colors, and this year I don't have any. So I'm hoping some of them come back from seed. We'll see. I found this eggplant. Do you guys see this? Can you see this? Please tell me that you can see in my gardeners eggplant. This one is called Turkish Orange. Has anyone ever seen a round, small orange eggplant? I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. All right, butterfly milkweed. My husband brought home some of this from a start last year. The goats ate it. They loved it. And never grown them ever once a day in my life, but the good old-fashioned red California poppy. I figured it was worth a try. We'll see. I did start a few nasturtiums, but other than that, I have not sown a flower seed at all, unless you count, you know, peas as flowers, but I don't, so. All right, so this video's run really long. I do apologize. If anybody doesn't like that, it's too bad. If you're still here, then that means you really care about us, you support us, you're on this journey with us as we are doing all the things for homesteading and gardening in the Ozarks here in Arkansas. We're all on a grand adventure together, and the idea of building home and community and sharing, that's what this is all about. So I want to thank everybody that's still hanging with us. I don't even know if I would still be watching at 37 minutes. I probably would have dozed off and fallen asleep. But either way, thank you so much for joining us on our journey. And we can't wait to share with you throughout the season as all these things come to fruition. Because, you know, I'm going to jump up and down and squeal whenever they first come alive. And then whenever we transplant, we're going to talk about them. And then when we get them in the ground, we're going to talk about them. And then as we're eating them, so the Seed Starting Madness has officially launched with about half of our first round of seeds already sown and our first seeds sprouting today, and then the rest of our tomato seeds, we did the first half last night, this morning, and then we'll be doing the second half either tonight or in the morning. So again, we thank you all so very much. If you're not already, please like, subscribe. We're doing really well on all of our other channels. We've got lots and lots of followers, a lot of engagement every single day, but for whatever reason, we just still haven't been able to get our viewers to come over and like. People watch. We got the hours of viewing time, no doubt about that, but for some reason, people just don't want to click those buttons. I don't know if people just watch us on TV, and that's why. Who knows? But either way, we thank you all so much, and we pray that you stay safe and blessed out there. And that's it. Until next time.